Hey everybody, Max here, and today we're going to be talking about the G.I. Joe Legacy Collection Search and Rescue Firefighter. Picked these guys up at Target during their fall sale, got a really good deal, so I picked up two. Really glad that I got these guys. They are the first figures in the Legacy Collection, but the second figure in the Legacy Collection that I've reviewed. The first were the ESU police figures, so I had two of those that I reviewed, and we're going to do two of those, two firefighters for today. So comes with a lot. Bodies reuse, new accessories though, deluxe figure. Here's the box. Pretty cool. I do like the artwork on the side as well as the diorama shots. Been seeing these guys in Target and Walmart for a while now, and I'm glad that I kind of played the long game and got the got a pretty good discount on them. So the box, I don't hang on to the box as much, so but that is the box. So if you're looking for it, you know what to look for. So let's see. Let's dive into the accessories here. It comes with a lot, like I said. Let's talk about the head sculpts. So since I have two, I can have them displayed right here. Kind of see what they're, show you what they look like without anything on there. Really cool. Get a dark skinned African American head sculpt, and then get an Asian head sculpt. And I decided to put this guy on my action soldier to see what it looked like, and because I didn't quite like the completely masked heads that we got with these figures. So color scheme's a little off. The neck this is the neck that comes with the soldier. The color scheme's different, but the neck from the firefighter doesn't quite fit very well. It's a little long and the color's off, but it's still kind of in the color scheme of the figure, so I think it looks okay. So really cool detail. Paint turned out really well. Figure also comes with a nice set of goggles to go over, and that fits on very well. And then you can kind of throw the helmet on over that and bring some new life to your action soldier via your Legacy Collection firefighter. So pretty cool. Also comes with a thermal blanket. Really cool material. It feels like it's 2-ply, and it looks like it might actually do the job. Comes folded up in the package, and it's a much better material than the little rain poncho that the ESU figure came with. So if I think that if the poncho had kind of this thicker material or double layers or whatever this is, I think it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the silver material, but I think it needed to be thicker. That poncho wasn't that great, but this is pretty cool. So gives you a little some display options if you're into toy photography. Let's see, comes with a nice new oxygen mask. Okay, pretty smashed up, squished in the package, but you can throw it onto any head and it will stretch out and sit securely. Clear plastic, black paint, red paint, silver paint, and this ports onto the harness, so it doesn't. It's pretty flexible too. So unlike say the mole rats that had very hard plastic on their tubing, which is it's still a good figure, don't get me wrong. This is definitely softer plastic and it fits better and doesn't get in the way. So that's great. So some red paint there. Comes with a pry bar, and I guess this is just different implements, different types of, I guess just depending on, you know, different ways of prying open things that are jammed, ways to get into different crevices and stuff. I can see this being very useful. I can't exactly say that I know how I would use it, but I can imagine. Comes with a small sledgehammer, long-handed sledgehammer. This one also comes with, CoverGirl has this one too, different colors. Comes with a nice fireman's axe, long handle, two small ones. And I will say this, that since we're talking about firemen, I do hope that someday we get an updated barbecue, because I bought barbecue not too long ago and I kind of wish I hadn't. I think he could be better. Then we have our fireman's hat, 609. If that's a reference to something, let me know in the comments section. That would be great. It's black plastic with some yellow paint, red paint, good numbering, and kind of the tannish on the back covering and the strap there. and it fits. The heads fit fairly well. You can get, obviously, you can tell. How did I do that? I think I did it this way. Yeah. So you just kind of push it in past the chin strap, and then just kind of leave the chin strap right like that, and then plug it down. And so there you go. You can have the hat and the mask all on the head. Plug it in. So that's cool. Nice oxygen tank. And I will say that this is an interesting new plug system. I kind of have a hate-hate relationship with the backpacks for classified. They sometimes are great, sometimes they're not. They have the traditional hole in the back with the plug coming out from the back of the backpack. This is a new harness with this kind of wedge shape going into the oxygen tank, and it fits very snugly, and I quite like it. The detail is really good, and it stays in position. So I think this might be, going forward, a good idea. I hope hope to see something like this in the future for characters that have, they have overlays like this, and instead of having just the whole, maybe easier that way, but to have just the hole in the back and the plug on the backpack. But I like this quite a bit. I'd like to see something like this, because the backpacks just don't stay on very well with the way they're currently doing it. So, oh, and then we have, obviously, he's holding the Jaws of Life. So there's the Jaws of Life. Now this came with the Dreadnought Ripper, and it's kind of has a Kubota orange coloring as opposed to all black, which I think Ripper did. And the handle's a little rubbery, but everything else is fairly solid. And it's on a, it's got a gear system there, so it opens and closes uniformly. So that's good. Little, tubing there, exhaust, so it's cool. Very handy tool, nice thing to have, a fireman will use. So let's see, which one are we going to start with? We'll start with this guy. So, okay, we've got the goggles. We've seen the face sculpt. Let's talk about articulation. And from what I can determine, this guy is, with the exception of the heads, is the snow job body. So the necks seem a little on the thin side, but I guess it's thicker material, right, for a fireman's, uniform. So that's just an observation, but it's probably perfectly normal. I do quite like the new harness, as I said. It fits very snugly on the figure. I'm not into Arctic characters, so having this kind of complete reuse doesn't really bother me. Honestly, it's kind of, I don't know if they were looking down the line to this, like this was already planned. Snowjob's a fairly old figure, 3 or 4 years old, 2 or 3 years old, something like that. And then now we're getting some reuse. We're seeing a reuse, and the coloring, the design of it lends itself very well to a fireman's uniform. So running into action and everything. So this guy looks down that far, looks up fairly well. That's great. And then gets a pretty good T-pose and kind of a non-existent butterfly joint. There's not much, there's not much give there. It's there, but you're not going to get any crossbody from that. It's just it's almost like it just wiggles. So, but it goes all the way around. Pretty good bicep swivel. Pinless joints. Good range of motion in the elbows. Wrists. Rotate around, and let's see, are these? They're vertical hinge, and vertical hinge on both. So yep, you got that. Really good paint on the silver and the yellow. Very, like reflective tape. It turned out really, really well. I'm quite impressed. And this one, the diaphragm cut's a little better on this one over here. This was the first one I opened, and this one's a little, I don't know, it's just kind of something, maybe it has some flashing inside there or something, but side to side is really good. He bends forward about that far. This one, like I said, is a little better, and side to side's good. The lower part of the jacket is a separate piece, and it kind of floats around a little bit, but not too bad. It does hinder leg articulation a little bit, but he still gets pretty good splits. Drop down hips, and you can't kick up very far because the plastic right here on this lower part of the jacket is pretty thick. So what I will probably do is cut a slit on the side and on either side there so that I can get a little better range of motion so he can kick forward a little bit more. Pretty good detail all the way around, all the pockets. There's also some gray coloring here, and so yeah, the legs look really good, and pinless joints, and they kick back that far, and then there is not a shin, but ankle swivel. Little stiff on this one, but it is there. A little better on the right foot. Left foot on this one's a little stiff. So yeah, and good range of motion on the feet as well. So despite the swivel being so low, but it is pretty good. And kicks forward, pretty good range of motion there too. So it goes forward fairly well. So yeah. Oh, and it has the typical thigh swivel as well, and that is very solid. So this is a very solid figure. I'm quite pleased with it. Like I said, sometimes you at least for me, I can be on the fence about stuff. I'm not in some ways I'm a completionist, and others I'm not. It's kind of like I don't buy Dreadnoks because I know that if I did, I'd have to buy all of them. And I'm not a huge fan of the Dreadnoks, but just as an example. So now that I've got the Legacy collection started, I'm going to probably buy every one of them. But it's really solid. I'm quite liking it. I like the 60th anniversary figures, even though there's a kind of an obscene amount of reuse in those 60th anniversary figures. But these are, I don't know, they just turned out really well. So. And let me just get this one out of get the axe out of his hand just to kind of show you where the tubing is. So it pops in. Oh, I didn't expect that to happen. So it detaches from the top and the bottom. So you can plug it in there. And it's shaped very well. Hope I didn't break it. I honestly truly didn't expect that to happen. And okay, pops in. So you can do that too. So you can completely detach the tube from the face mask. So yeah, it's not one piece or glued in piece. So yeah, so it functions very well. I think that a lot of thought went into that, and then it has a good oxygen gauge here. It looks like he's about half full. So he's been at work for a little bit, and he's ready to run into the building and save some innocent citizens. Perhaps they were victims of Cobra arson or something. So yeah. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm going to give these guys a warp factor of 9.5. Really liking them. I really like the accessories. I can see a lot of extra usage for the axes and the sledgehammers and all that kind of stuff. I think toy photographers are probably going to really enjoy this quite a bit, and as well as myself. So I think this is a great addition to the collection. I'm glad I have two. And I'm glad I've been able to kind of breathe a new, a little more variability and a little new life to another figure as well. So let me know how if you got these, what did you do with them? Are you a toy photographer? Did you take advantage of the Target sale? Do you have a whole legion of your whole firehouse full of firemen? So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you're new here, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I don't know if that hype thing is functioning on my channel or not, but if you want to hype me up, that would be great too. But hey, I'm glad you're here. Continue to be awesome, guys. Warp factor of 9.5, and I'll talk at you next time. Take care.